Welcome back everyone to another beginner's guide. This time we're talking about the OnePlus 9 and the 9 Pro, and if you're somebody who is not familiar with a OnePlus phone or any phones for that matter, this is a great beginner's guide. So I'll hit in everything as quickly as possible, your time is very valuable. For this video I'll be using the OnePlus 9 Pro, but they're exactly the same phone. But first of all, before even turning on the phone, you may actually want to go ahead and insert the SIM card on your OnePlus 9 or 9 Pro. Now on your SIM card, what you'll be able to do is obviously get signal and all that. So what you want to do is turn your phone to the bottom of the device and you'll see the SIM card port right here. As long if the speaker grill is right here to the left, the micro SIM card slot is right here. So you want to go ahead and grab your little eject tool, which looks just like this, as you may have it in the box. Look through the box, you'll have it. There's a little hole right here. You want to go ahead and input this right into the hole right there, click it in, and you can go ahead and basically take out this little eject tool thing right here. And this is basically what it looks like. You want to go ahead and make sure you put the SIM card in the exact area that tells you to put the SIM card in. And as soon as you do that, all you have to do at this point is pretty much put your SIM card back in there in place, drop it in like so, and you are set. As long as the SIM card has signal, you will be good to go. Now some exterior stuff. First of all, you have the display up front, hole punch camera right here. This is where you take the front cameras at. The speaker grill is embedded or whatever embedded right here. On the bottom you have the charging port, speaker grill right here. You have the volume buttons on the left side of the phone. On the right side of the phone you have a power button and the ringer on off switch. So if you want your phone to be silent, you can go and turn this down. If you want it on, you can turn it up. In this case I'll go ahead and turn it down. On the back you have your wireless charging back and reverse wireless charging back. So I'll go and talk about that in a second, but you can actually charge other devices through the back of your phone. And you have your camera setup right here. 4 cameras on this phone, flash right here, microphone, and all that good stuff. So that's really pretty much the exterior as well. Now if you want to go ahead and turn your phone on, you'll have to go ahead and click the power button right here. So go ahead and click it. You might come into this panel. If you don't, you'll probably have to hold it down and then you'll essentially see the boot up screen. Booting up and setting up your phone is super easy. You just have to type in your email, all that stuff. But essentially you'll come into a panel that looks like this. You may not have these apps set up right now, but that's pretty much all you have to do. Now turning it on, you will get into your lock screen. So this is what the normal lock screen looks like. You'll have, apps and notifications and stuff all through here. You have the date and time right here. You'll have your status bar up here, which is great. But you'll also have a microphone and some quick toggles down here. So if you want to quickly access your camera, you can swipe down right here or swipe up, just like how I did. So swipe up and you'll easily be able to get into your camera and you can access your camera this way. Now let's say you want to go ahead and do the other thing, which is the microphone. The same exact thing. You swipe from the side and now look, you are going to be able to access Google or whatever the case this thing is. And that's really it. I mean, that's the lock screen. Nobody really spends too much time here, to be honest. They typically just swipe up and now you're in the phone in and of itself. So as mentioned before, you have the status bar up here. You can swipe down and now you have all these different notifications. Up here, you have the status bar. So you can go ahead and access some quick toggles, access the Wi-Fi, and all these different things which you can go ahead and look at. But you can go ahead and modify these and change them. Maybe you don't want all these by clicking this pencil button. And you can drag and drop whichever one you don't want. So let's say you don't want this one anymore. You hold it down, bring it down here, and it'll go ahead and delete it. And you can change the brightness right here. And that's really it. I mean, the status bar is a very easy thing to do. If you want to make calls to somebody, you go ahead and click on this little call toggle right here. You can go ahead and, click on the little... And you can go and click on this little dialer right here, and you can go ahead and make calls to people. The same thing for messages. If you want to text somebody, you'll click on that little message toggle, and you'll be able to start chatting with somebody. So you go ahead and type in their name or their phone number if you have it, and you'll basically be able to write out a text to them too. So those are the main things that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to go ahead and use. But you may not even realize that this phone, if you're not familiar with a lot of smartphones, uses that gesture-based design. So much like how we did with the lock screen of swiping up, this OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro, this is pretty much the same thing. So if you want to access the home, let's say you go into an app and you don't have a button that you can't click anywhere, in order to exit out, you see this little line down here, you want to grab it and just swipe up. That is essentially how you go ahead and, swipe out of an app. That's basically the new home button. So again, swipe up, grab that little bar right down here and swipe up. Now, if you have a lot of apps in the background, you want to go ahead and clear them out every once in a while. In order to do that, you want to drag up a little bit, but then hold it there for a split second. So if you swipe fast, it goes away. But if you swipe up and hold it right there, you essentially get into this panel. And this is exactly where you want to be. Now you can go ahead and swipe through and look through all the other apps that you've just used. Let's say you want to go back in here. Well, you can still have access to going back in there. And if you want to close out of all your apps, click clear all down here. and now all the RAM is pretty much cleared out in the background for the most part. Now, some other things you may want to be doing is essentially, downloading apps. So you want to go ahead and locate your Play Store little app right here. If you don't see it here, you can also swipe up. If you see this little arrow here, you can also swipe up and you'll get into your app panel. This is where all your apps are located. Unless you delete them, then you won't see them. But this is where all your apps are. So you want to become pretty familiar with this. You can also search apps right up here. So we want to make our way over to the Play Store, which is right there. And let's say we want to download an app. Well, all we would have to do is click up here and type in the name of app. So if you want to download, let's say WhatsApp, for example, so we'll go ahead and type in WhatsApp, and it already autofills for us. We can click there. We want to find the WhatsApp app, click on it, and you'll see this little install button. You want to go and click install. You might get some pop-ups like this. You want to click continue. You may not get these, so you can go and forget about it. You can click skip for now, and it'll essentially start downloading the app. Now at this point, you might be wondering, well, where does the app save? It essentially saves sometimes on our front panel right here, or if you don't see it here, you can also swipe up and you'll see the WhatsApp little icon here. So these are all in alphabetical order unless you change them later. So that's essentially how you go ahead and do a lot of the basic stuff. Now the next thing, let's go ahead and get into our settings. So let's swipe up here. Let's get into our settings panel, which is again in alphabetical order. So it's right here. Now this is where you can go ahead and modify a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff here, so there's no point in, hitting on every single little detail. But right here, you can create your own OnePlus account if you want to. I don't really recommend it, but if you want to, you can go for it. Your Wi-Fi network connections, you go and use this if you want to modify those. Your Bluetooth and device connections, so if you're connecting a game remote, a set of headphones, you would go ahead and use this specific option. The display option, this goes ahead and allows you to modify the brightness, the increase in the motion smoothness and stuff like that. But most of the time you don't really want to mess with that, to be honest, especially if you're pretty new to smartphones. The customization aspect, wallpapers, accent colors, etc. Sound and vibration. If you want to go ahead and increase the volume of your phone, if you aren't familiar, the volume buttons are on the side. But you can also click the little settings toggle and manually move these. As you can see, these move as well. So if you want to turn your alarm volume higher, go and click here. And essentially, nobody really messes with these in the settings unless something is totally wrong with your phone. Buttons and gestures, app and notifications, and a lot of these things, as I mentioned, you don't really want to mess with. You don't want to, mess with turning on notifications or turning off notifications. You just essentially want to keep these as you normally would. The battery toggle, storage. If you're running out of storage, you can go ahead and see that here. Your accounts, digital well-being, your Google accounts, utilities, system, about phone, and tips and support. So typically within the settings panel, in my personal opinion, I typically only modify like Wi-Fi networks, and sometimes I may go into apps and notifications if an app isn't working for me. But other than that, most of the time these apps are working, and I very rarely have any issues when it comes down to that. So that's pretty much a basic stand through and stand put of the settings toggle. Now, if you want to go ahead and change your wallpaper without having to go into, the settings toggle or whatever, what you can do is hold down on the option like this. I'll do it again. You want to hold down on a specific portion of the screen that is blank. So if I hold down here, you'll see that it pretty much gets into that panel, which I'll get into in a second. You want to hold down on a blank portion of the panel, and you'll be able to access wallpapers, widgets, and home settings. In this case, the widgets are just other widgets like this. If you want to change the wallpaper, you go and click there. Go and click allow, and you can now change the wallpaper to whatever wallpaper that's built in, or you can also choose a different wallpaper if you want to. In this case, I like this specific wallpaper, and that's pretty much how you change the wallpaper on your device. Now, if you want to move around these toggles on your phone, this is another really big thing that I've seen a lot of people do, and a lot of people have questions for. You can change any single thing about this phone in terms of the apps. So if, let's say you don't like the camera being there, or let's say you don't like this app being here, well, you can go ahead and move it, hold it down, and drag it to wherever you want to. You want to hold it down like this, and then move it wherever you want to. So in this case, I move this up here. I can hold it down, move it there. But on top of that, you can also remove the app by holding it down and scrolling up to where it says remove right up there. You can now remove those apps from the specific panel. You can also change them from page to page. So let's say I would like this not right there and I want to move it there. That's great. But let's say I want to move this to the next page. Well, I would just have to drag it over and bring it back and forth just like this. So drag the app over. As long as you're hovering down over the app, you can bring it from page to page. And that's essentially how you go ahead and move those type of things. And that's another really massive thing that I've seen time and time again. Now, another thing you may want to do is screenshot on your OnePlus 9 or 9 Pro. Now, this process is very easy as well. All you have to do is locate the volume down button, which is on the left of the phone, and the power button, which is on the right of the device. So all you have to do is hold down the power button and the volume down button at the same time, and you'll essentially be able to screenshot. So you just want to click them down just like this, and then you'll be able to move on. So watch what happens. I click those buttons just like this, volume down and the power button, and you'll know that you took a screenshot if you see that little box happen. So let's go and do it again. Volume down, power button, and you'll see that I just took a screenshot. Now you can click, don't hold down, but you can click on that specific photo and you'll get into the screenshot editing gallery. Now this is definitely just, I can make a video in and of itself of all the capability here, but you can go and crop down the specific image by just, holding or just moving whatever this is. You can go ahead and draw on the image if you want to. So if I wanted to draw a circle, I can go ahead and do that. I can go ahead and write some text on it too. So if, let's say I wanted to say hi, I can go ahead and write down hi right there, as you guys can see. And let's say I wanted to do all this other stuff, draw an arrow and all this others. There's so much capability here. But for a beginner's guide, there's really not too much, that you need to know, to be honest. Whenever you're ready with the screenshot, go ahead and click this check mark and you will see that the photo will be saved. Now you can access your photos and videos by going into your Photos app. So you want to swipe up here, you want to locate some type of gallery app or Photos app. In this case on the OnePlus 9, it is the Photos app here. You want to go ahead and click on it. You'll come into a panel that looks like this. I'm going to click Do Not Backup right now, but in this case it's going to find all those photos and stuff. If you don't see them here, you want to go and click Library, and here you'll be able to see those photos we just took. So in this case, you can see we now have this specific photo that we just took, and that's how you do it. You can see all your videos and photos here. But let's go ahead and know how to screen record. This is another very basic thing that a lot of people use on their phones, and a OnePlus obviously supports it. So in order to screen record, all you want to do is swipe down up here, and then once more you want to swipe down again. You want to swipe to the side, and you want to look for the screen recording toggle. So right now you can see there's the screen recording toggle right here. All you have to do is click screen recording. You'll get into this little pop-up. Now once you see it, all you want to do is, first of all, you want to see the settings are correct. You can go ahead and change these to whatever you want to. In this case, I'm going to keep it stock. But whenever you're ready, you want to go ahead and click on this little option right there. So you want to go ahead and click on the little red bubble, and you can see that it's starting to record. So now whatever you do on your phone, it's going to allow you to actually go ahead and just use it, or just start recording the video of. So whenever you're done, you want to click on that little hovering thing. You want to go and click stop, and it'll go ahead and tell you that your photo or video is saved into your photo gallery. So now, much like before, we can go ahead and click that X button to exit out of here. We want to go back into our Photos app. So again, alphabetical order, click on Photos, and you should at some point see that video. You may have to hop out. Now you can see this new screen recording box right here. You want to go and click on it, and you want to go and click on this, and you will be able to see the little screen record that we just did. So a very basic tutorial, as I mentioned before, but that is essentially how you go ahead and do it. It's pretty basic, but it gets the job done. Now the last thing I'm going to go ahead and show you is a little bit of a walkthrough of the camera. It's nothing super crazy. On the back you can see we do have either a triple or quadruple camera setup, and we also have a front camera as well. The camera app looks like this. So it's this little camera toggle. You can also access it through the lock screen, as I mentioned before, in the bottom right corner. Go ahead and swipe up here, and this is the photo app. If you want to go ahead and take a photo, you go ahead and click on the little option right there. You'll get into all these little pop-ups that'll explain to you what to do. But as long as it's hovering over that photo option, then you're set. You can also flip the camera around by clicking here. But in this case, this camera, because it has that ultra wide and telephoto lens, you can also zoom in a lot by pinching just like this. So you can see you can pinch in. It's a little slow, I don't know why. You can also zoom out by pinching out just like this. You can also grab this little toggle right here, so you can click on it. You can also either drag it just like this, or you can zoom out just like this. Because of the ultra wide sensor, you can see you can zoom out quite a bit, or you can go and do this way, or you can use your fingers, as I mentioned before. And that's really all you need to do. The same functionality is going to be on photos, videos, whatever you're going to do. Whatever app you're going to use, that is essentially how you do it, whether it's Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. Now let's say you want to click on videos and make a video. You want to make sure the toggle is over the video toggle. And now whatever you're going to do here, it's going to basically be able to make that video. So in this case, if you want to make a video, you click here. As long as you ever see that little red thing with time on it, you essentially know that you are making a video on it. So whenever you're ready and you're done with it, you can also, like I said, zoom in, zoom out, same exact thing. Click the little button, and you'll essentially be good to go. And you've just made that photo or video. If you ever want to access those photos or videos, click in the bottom right corner, and you'll basically be able to see those things right here. Now at this point, you should be a master at your OnePlus 9 or 9 Pro. Like I said, it's nothing super crazy. It's a very basic phone, just like every other phones that's coming out nowadays. But this is the core functionality. If you can understand these things, you can pretty much use a OnePlus 9 or 9 Pro, or really any phone for the most part. So that's really pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.